Well, hello, friends out there. This is my NHL Pearls of Wisdom, and I'm here with Deli and Joe Boric. It's getting to the point where you guys should know their names right off the top here. We have a very interesting topic today, something that I really enjoy. If you like in-depth hockey and looking at some things that happen in the league where it makes you go, this is one of the biggest stories that I've seen for that sort of material. And that is what is going on with Chayka and the Arizona Coyote. Deli, you seem to have a big focus on this as well. You brought it up before we got into this video, and you said you really wanted to talk about it. And it hit a nerve with me. I really want to talk about it too. What do you think might be going on there? Who do you think is there a fault or not fault, or what do you see there?
Well, first of all, I think it's a mess for a team like the Coyotes, who's been fighting their entire existence to be relevant. They try to kind of get out ahead of the league and hire an, in quotes, analytics guy to kind of head their front office and choose their roster. I mean, it really is another misstep in the history of the Arizona Coyotes franchise. But who's to blame is tough. I think it lies in both camps. That there's reporting out there that another organization contacted the Coyotes to try to talk about Chayka and hiring Chayka from them, and the Coyotes denied him the ability to talk with them, which in a lot of the reporting that isn't mine, just that I've been reading around the internet, that he was unhappy with that. But you have the whole meeting with Taylor Hall that Chayka wasn't in, that the Coyotes owner was part of, and another person in the Coyotes, another Coyotes executive. It just feels like one of those situations where the GM wasn't getting his way and the owner wasn't getting his way, and there wasn't really a full commitment one way or the other. I place more of the blame on Chayka, just because, I mean, you're under contract. You should honor that contract. If a team wants to contact you or contact you about hiring you gotta. I mean, you're under contract by another team. You're getting paid well. You have to commit to the job you're doing. I understand the theory that if you don't want to be there, if you don't want to be there, you're not committed to the goal. That it's a non-starter for a team. But I just think, I mean, where's your mind at that you're clearly there's already something going wrong if you're not invited into a meeting with your star player about another contract. Not to mention the Coyotes have been disappointing since he got there. They never really broke out and had that kind of cheap player revolution that you saw. I mean, that you might have seen some people think happened with the Oakland A's in baseball, where they kind of the money ball system in hockey. That never really happened. That being said, ownership obviously came out with a pretty scathing announcement about his quitting. But I think the final nail in the coffin for me, placing more on the blame on Chayka, is you've been the GM there since 2015, 2016. Your team makes the playoffs. I'll call it the play-in round for the first time. You actually have access to winning the Stanley Cup, if that's a possibility for the Coyotes, and you quit right before it starts. Like, just hang in there. You're not going to make many player moves during the playoffs. You're not going to be signing anyone like that. I mean, just keep with the team until the Coyotes are eliminated or win, and then if they win, hey, take some of the credit. If they lose, then I mean, you're out of your job sooner. But don't quit right before the playoffs. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I have to put some of the blame on him, because I also saw, when I looked it up, it popped up immediately in the first paragraph here, which I knew they said he lied to Morello, the minority owner who tends to deal with, it seems like from reading stuff, more of the day-to-day stuff. So because he lied about an interview with the Devils, and then it says that he asked Morello, an owner, which was obviously probably one of the Devils or somebody, asked for permission. And like you said, Deli, before the podcast, that was denied. But then he said to Morello he wasn't seeking a position with another team, but just seeking to build relationships with owners in hockey and gain market knowledge. So obviously then he asked to be released from his contract afterwards so he could accept a new position with a team which he said allowed greater opportunities within the Devils owner's vast sports portfolio, which is also not true because Josh Harris blows as an owner. But that let's just get that out there. But on top of that, he's going from one terrible ownership group to another terrible ownership group if he did or is going to work for the Devils. I don't know if that became official yet or if he decided to work for the Devils or what the hell is going on there. But if he decides to work for the Devils, they don't have a good ownership group either. But either way, I would say that has to at least be 50-50 because sure, you want to leave if your situation's not going good. But at the same time, something must have really happened in the last 9 months because 9 months ago, as soon as Morello came in, he said, I believe John is a guy that can lead us to Stanley Cups. Like he would be the guy for Arizona. So obviously something happened this season that really changed it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You're talking about a new owner coming in and you said something changed.
But he gave him a vote of confidence. That's what I'm saying.
He gave him a vote of confidence, yes.
Yeah.
Something in there made Chayka go, okay, I'm not the guy anymore. This is pure speculation. I don't have the inside. My thinking is that Chayka, all of a sudden, they started taking away his decisions from him as much as he had before. I'd like to know who was behind. I would say Taylor Hall was likely a Chayka-driven decision. And I think re-signing him was the straw for Chayka. Because, yes, Chayka wasn't there for the meeting, but they lowballed him. They lowballed Taylor Hall. And they're not saying how low, but that's pretty much saying we don't want you back. Taylor Hall is not going to stay in Arizona for anything less than $9 million for 8 years. Simple as that, period. Don't even bother lowballing. What are you trying to ask him to stay for less? He's not staying in Arizona for less than $9 million for 8 years. He wants to play in Alberta. Everybody knows it. So you're going to have to at least give him that. I think Chayka's like, if Taylor Hall's not going to be here, that's going over I don't see us going anywhere if that's the case. And I don't like the philosophy and the way these guys are going. Now, my thinking is, Chayka said, I'll stay here till the end of the playoffs. And the general manager said, no, I want you to sign something to say you're not leaving, period. That's it. And he said, I can't do that. So that's why it happened at this time. I don't think it was Chayka's idea to leave before the playoffs start, play-in round started and all that stuff like that. That's my lean. Whose fault is that? I think it's partially Chayka's fault for signing a contract that he did.
Yeah,
right?
But I was gonna say I think he decided to leave before the playoffs actually because the thing I read earlier said that, and I pulled it up again. Morello felt betrayed, but he said he would discuss the situation after the season. So he said, "I'll leave this be until after the season. Just go away and do what you have to do." And Chayka was skeptical. So you have the right to be skeptical, but if he said that, you also could have, like Deli said, just stayed for the season and considered that unreasonable, which I don't really consider that unreasonable to wait to talk about that. And that's one thing I disagree with Chayka on. But the difference is Chayka lied about what he was interviewing for. Morello learned that the position he desired was similar to the one he held in Arizona, where he kept saying it was basically something else. And then that's where things fell apart, and it was a pattern of misrepresentation, and they actually used the word finesse it. So that's the exact lingo they used. He tried to finesse it. So that's, some people think they're just the smartest people in the room, and that now it comes back to bite them. So that's I feel like he was trying to be the smartest person in the room, trying to rough around the edges of the lines of not violating rules, but just not being as ethical. So that's just kind of what happened. I think reading some of the other stuff I read right before getting on in that, I feel like it might be 60-40 on him. Because if they said they'll talk about it after the season, just wait.
Yeah. I gotta sign off quickly before I go. I just want to give credit to an article that I read some of this from on Deadspin by the hockey writer Sam Fells, who's like his work, said on the eve of finally playing games that matter, sorta, the Coyotes are still a mess. So that's the article, but he's got a quote. He's got a quote at the bottom which I loved, which just it made me laugh. If you know what Theranos is, the company the fraudulent company that basically claimed they could diagnose a bunch of diseases with a drop of blood. It was like a tech startup or a biotech startup that was famously a huge disaster. He kind of compared it to them. He said, things get truly weird when you read this about Chayka, studying players' brains through MRIs to see if they have a hockey IQ. This kind of thing makes you start to wonder if it wasn't all a hockey Theranos. Just yesterday on the Score 650 in Vancouver, Elliot Friedman was saying that Chayka helped convince the current owners, Alex Marullo and Andrew Barroway, to buy the team. Less than a year later, he's going deuces. So, if that's true, that he convinced them to buy the team, and then he's like, all right, never mind, I don't like you guys, goodbye. And he's also trying to. I mean, to me, that's an invasion of privacy a little bit, like doing MRIs on players' brains to be like, all right, how are you wired? That's extreme. I don't necessarily know if I believe that's going to work. So that's where I'm coming from with Chayka too. If that's true, he's a little bit strange.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's this is the kind of stuff going in with Chayka that people love, though. He thought things way outside of the box, and that was really what everybody wanted him there for. So, geez, you brought up a whole lot. We got to let you go, Deli. We're going to probably bring this up more. We're going to see what happens in the future here.
I was just going to give the guy credit because Deli gave credit. Howie Kasoy from New York Post, who writes pretty good stuff. I don't read the New York Post overall, but I read a couple writers that are good when I see him. He's pretty good. He's the one that wrote about all the stuff in mistrust. So that would go right along with what Deli said.
Send me those guys. I'm going to put them down. I'll put them down in the comment section here in my description so they get some play. Because and do that all the time when we're doing these videos. You got guys you want to promote, that's what we're here for. This business is a fun business, but it's also a business that needs promotion, and I want to promote as many people as possible. I promote you guys because you guys are amazing, as you can tell right now. I hope you guys are enjoying this fine programming, because I certainly do. And we'll get back to you with some fine programming like this soon. Deli, thank you for coming in. Joe, thank you for coming in. And we'll see you guys another time very soon, and we'll be doing great work during these playoffs. Have a great day, everyone. Lots of love to you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right, good.